I love you, Donnie.
I love you too, sweetie.
Yeah. All right. We'll see you in a little bit.
Too bad you're leaving before the bacon's done.
All right. It's 6:31. We have forced ourselves to get out of here on time. I did not fold the laundry. And Joey's got the PSAT this morning. I told Donnie he's got to bring me the key fob back in the morning. This having to open up my own car door thing is not working for me. He said he accepted the constructive feedback. Yep, yeah, I'm coming with the door. Just, if you wouldn't stand close, open it up now. If you wouldn't stand so darn close to the door, it would open. Well, good luck today with the PSAT, Joey. This is his first attempt. Whoa, at a standardized test. Sorry.
Love you, Mom.
Yep, love you too. Have a good day.
Bye.
Bye. See you this afternoon. Well, I've worked my way over to my chiropractor's office for my weekly appointment, and it's just really overcast today, so it seems particularly dark out there. Traffic was kind of heavy this morning, heavier than it's been the last few days, and you know, people, they drive like they drive, but I made it here safe, so that's good, and hopefully I'll go in and get my adjustment and feel tons better. Well, I'm on my way back to Fuquay now. Everything went good at the chiropractor's office. I've got at least one errand to make, but I'm gonna go home and spend some time with Donnie and probably take a nap because I am so tired today. So I remembered how easy it is for me to stop by North Hills on my way home from the chiropractor, and I thought I would check out the progress on the Supercharger. Well, immediately I'm seeing progress in that I see the little supercharger. I don't know what you call that. You can't call it a gas pump. What do you call it? Station? I don't know, but it's over here. Construction's making navigation over here a little difficult. So I guess instead of being at the back, these are going to be on the side. So I count, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Is that how many I count? And it looks like there's room for 2 more down on the end. But yes, as of right now, there's 12. So they've certainly made some progress since I was here. Was it last week? A week ago? And here's the big transformer down on the end. I assume at some point there'll be a true barricade around it. That's the word, right? Yeah, came to me. Stalls. But it's looking good over here. I, imagine they can finish this up in a couple weeks maybe. There's nobody here working on it today. Not at least right now. It's 8:50 in the morning. So, I don't know. I'm sure maybe the weather's been slowing them down as far as pouring cement and stuff, because we have been having high humidity and on and off rain showers. But it's coming along. Yep. I got out of the car and came over to the fence because I thought it would be interesting to get a shot of the stalls without the covers on them and without looking through the fence. So somehow yesterday when I was at Whole Foods, I forgot to get the instant coffee that the boys and I use to make our milk coffee drinks in the morning. I have some coming from Amazon, but Amazon was on back order, so short story is, it's either get coffee today or not have any coffee for tomorrow morning, and that's just not happening. So I'm here at the Wade Avenue Whole Foods, and I'm gonna run in and get me some coffee and all of us some coffee, and then, the day is bound to only go better from here. Not going bad so far, but it'll be better. Darn it. I was hoping to pick up some Cindy's Ranch since this store has it. Oh yeah, here's one. Well, I would have liked to have bought 2 or 3, but I'll take one. And the next time I'm in Cary, I'm talking to the manager again and nicely asking him to do what he needs to do to get this back over there. So this is what I buy. And the reason I buy instant is that I can mix a couple teaspoons with about a tablespoon of water, so I have really strong coffee, but it's not diluted. And that way when I put it in with the milk, or I put it in the ice cream base, it's really strong, but it's not watered down. All right, I got what I came for. I'm very happy that I have coffee for myself for the drive home, and I'm back at Ruby. Woo! So I'm home, and before I go pile up on the couch for, God, a few minutes before I have to go back and get the boys, I spent some time and vacuumed inside of Ruby. I try to do that every couple of weeks because Don works so hard on washing Ruby and doing the windows and that kind of thing that I sure don't want him to have to worry about vacuuming too. So I did that. The vacuum cleaner in the center of our garage in the little closet under the stairs, it just does a great job, and it's easy to reach the car. It's a little bit, harder to vacuum Ruby than my van because of the X-wing doors and wanting to be careful about how I open them up in here, but it's perfectly doable. And I wouldn't trade the Falcon wings. Listen to me, X-wings, Star Wars on the brain. I wouldn't trade the Falcon wings for anything. I love them, I just do. So, any little minor inconvenience bending over to vacuum is, it's no big deal. So, just a little comment on the white seats. Still totally happy with them. They're soft. They're comfortable. They aren't showing dirt like you would think. I have noticed, as some other people have, that there's a little bit of seatbelt black up here. But Don and I are using unscented baby wipes on the seats, as so many others have recommended, and it came right off. So I think if you keep up with it and just wipe it down every couple of weeks, you're probably good. We've wiped it down twice now because, we've had her for a little while and we're really using her all the time. But, no spots that we can't get off of the seat. They wipe up easy, and I'm really happy with them. You would think people look at white, but they're great. If you're thinking about white versus another color on your X or S, I would, the white is, it's great. It's awesome. I would go for it if you like it. So while I've been out in the garage vacuuming, Don's been in the house fooling with my Samsung Windows 10 i7 processor machine. I had that problem a few days ago where the required Windows 10 upgrade wouldn't go on. It wants to put some security patches on and says I have to upgrade Windows 10 to do that. So I need the computer for Lego League Robotics Club tomorrow. Well, at least it would make it easier on me because we're actually going to start programming for the first time. But
I had Googled and found one thing to try, didn't seem to work, and now Don's on the job, and so he thinks he's found something, so keep your fingers crossed, because just make my life easier if that machine would function for us tomorrow. Bye, Donnie, I love you. Thanks for helping your sleepy girl load up her stuff and get back out the door to go get the boys.
My pleasure, sweetheart.
Okay, kiss, kiss. Bye-bye. See you in a little bit. Well, gas is down to $2.29.
I don't know if the noise is showing up or not. My windows are up, and that's a car not too far behind me. That loud. That's just rude.
Johnny's being a good helper. We had our neighbor's mail in our mailbox, and it was too big to go in their mailbox, so he walked up to them. Thank you, Johnny.
You're welcome, Mom.
Good job.
Hi, it's Don and Marianne. It's Tesla time. So we're out in the garage and just thought we'd shoot a little video here. Might be aware in the news the last several days that North Carolina has been in the news about Tesla, and the fact that North Carolina is one of the states that do not allow direct sales, and that's sort of a asterisk there. We have a single sales office right here, and it's in Raleigh, which is where we had our test drive back in March, and of course back in June when we picked up our Model S, that's where our Model X, that's where we picked it up and filled out the paperwork and that type of stuff. The Charlotte, North Carolina, which is actually a bigger city than Raleigh, it only has a gallery. And we have learned that gallery, they have to take all the paperwork. When the customers around Charlotte area pick up their Teslas, the Charlotte store overnights all the paperwork to the Raleigh store, and then the Raleigh store, which actually has a sales license, submits that paperwork. That's how it works. And it's actually a little worse than that. The only reason that it's my understanding, the only reason that the Raleigh office has a sales license is because it was granted before the dealers and the lobby got wind of it. In other words, Tesla sent in let's say the $100 license fee for a license to sell automobiles in the state of North Carolina, and North Carolina, being good government workers, they sent them the license, and basically once the license got issued, the dealers didn't have any recourse, but they were able to stop any additional licenses. There's been several attempts via the state legislature to allow Tesla to open additional sales offices, but they've always come with a lot of caveats. And the Republican-controlled legislature isn't a big fan of, they're very conservative, and the conservative one of the attributes of a conservative political group is they don't like change. So, opening up to online sales when you have been using dealers for the last 100 years, that's a change in the legislature. They're not into changing things very much. So it's not been successful. So anyway, the Department of Motor Vehicles has a commissioner, and the commissioner office is an appointment. It's really just a hire by the Secretary of Transportation for North Carolina, and the Secretary of Transportation is an appointment by the governor. So easily our governor appointed the Secretary of Transportation, and he's changed some of the people running the DMV, and one of the people he's changed is the commissioner, and is a gentleman named Tory Jessup. He's looking at his background, Mr. Jessup doesn't seem to have any connection to dealers or the automobile industry per se. He certainly seems qualified. I mean, he's basically runs the day-to-day business side of the DMV.
Right, giving out licenses and registration and that kind of thing is his.
Yeah, just, you know, he's like the administrator, and so he has issued or the way it was worded by the Electric article, he asked the Charlotte Gallery to stop giving test drives and ride-alongs. The gallery can still be open, and they can certainly answer questions and things of that nature, but they're no longer, the Commissioner Jessup has asked them to no longer do rides. Now, I noticed that he didn't order them not to give test drives, but Tesla, being responsible, when the Commissioner asked them not to do something, they decided, well, we'll stop doing it. So the Charlotte Gallery no longer gives test rides or ride-along. So if you want to get a Tesla test drive in North Carolina, you have to come to the Raleigh office and get it out of Raleigh.
Or there was some talk that, you know, hey, down in the Charlotte area, if you own a Tesla, maybe they would try to hook you up with, you know, current Tesla owners to do a test drive, which is okay, but sort of like, well, yeah.
So there was other articles about
EV.Network.
EV.Network
broke it on Monday, and then Electrek had their article today.
Right. And the EV.Network had some information about how to contact Mr. Jessup. So I decided to send an email to Mr. Jessup, and I'm going to read it to you real quick here. It's not very long. It says, "Dear Sir, as a citizen, consumer, and voter in North Carolina, I believe I am best suited to choose for myself both the vehicle I want to buy and how I want to buy it. Automobile manufacturers have an economic incentive to respond to my preferences by choosing the most effective distribution method for their vehicles. Tesla has chosen to use a distribution method that is responsive to my desire to avoid automobile dealers. Please do not prevent them from being responsive to my desire and reconsider your decision. Allow Tesla to provide test drives at their Charlotte Gallery. I am sincerely," I signed it. And I've made it very clear that I am a resident of North Carolina. So I would ask any viewers of this video, if you've
feel strongly that Tesla should be allowed to give test drives out and ride-alongs out of the Charlotte Gallery, or even to request more sales offices in the state, which was in the legislature but has since been, is currently not, it didn't pass, that, you know, you can contact him too.
Right, I think, you know, this is, both of those are, they're not mutually exclusive. You can express to Mr. Jessup, who is just a state employee. He is not an elected office. You know, he's just a state employee. He's a bureaucrat. You can certainly express to him that, you know, you're an intelligent person, that you're able to make your own decisions, and you don't need the DMV commissioner to help you in this area, that he just needs to get out of the way and let free enterprise, an open market, do what it can. Granted, he can't change the legislature, but he can certainly allow test drives or change his current request or rescind his request.
Attitude, thinking of when these matters.
Yeah, I have no idea why since the prior commissioner had said it was okay, I have no idea why this guy who just, Mr. Jessup, who just started his job on July 6, 2017 when he was sworn in, all of a sudden decide, well, you know, it's really important that we stop test drives in Charlotte.
Right, and we now have a Democratic governor. We've had a change in governor several times since Easley appointed the transportation secretary, apparently. But yeah, so
yeah, you know, I understand that there are people, consumers, you know, the finance industry, the payday loan industry. Maybe we need commissioners and legislatures to pass laws to help protect consumers from those type of predatory practices. But I honestly believe if you're going to buy a vehicle that costs $100,000 more or less, that you probably are smart enough to make a decision if it's buying it on the internet is going to cause you a problem or not, or things like that. You don't really need the dealer to help you make a $100,000 decision. So I never quite understood why these states think that they're helping consumers by denying Tesla's online sales. Tesla isn't going after the types of people who typically fall prey to those types of practices that need regulators to step in and protect them. In fact, I would actually say it's the other way. I think you'd be much better off regulating dealers and restricting what they could do, because if you've ever tried to buy a car through a dealer, you talk about high pressure sales, you talk about confusing loan options,
bait and switch.
Exactly. And oh, what about all the dealer options and stuff like that? You know, well, you have to get this. So I would tell Mr. Jessup, if he wanted to help consumers, if that was really his goal here, and I don't know if that was it. I just assume that he's trying to protect consumers from, the likes of Tesla. I think he should probably talk to the dealers and maybe do some research there to see possibly if some protection isn't better served consumers to put on the dealers, and maybe the dealers need to be more Tesla-like.
Yeah, Don doesn't talk about it a lot, or we sort of haven't talked about it, but there's multiple reasons for buying a Tesla, and for me it's helping the environment and the Falcon Wing doors, okay, and sharing an interest with Don in electric vehicles and liking technology. But Don explained to me one time, and it was a little new to me, that one of the main reasons why he wanted to buy a Tesla, and he's been into EVs for a long time, but was really because he's against dealerships. Right.
I guess, I am not the best negotiator, so you could fault me for that. It's one of the reasons I don't like to go through dealers. And the other, I always felt like I screwed up when whatever price I paid for the car, I always felt like I paid too much, and the entire profit for the entire dealership that year was made on my sale. So I just always felt ripped off. So there was never any doubt that I wasn't going to go. Now I realize that's a personal flaw of mine, not being able to negotiate well with the dealer. But I appreciate Tesla. There was no dickering, and Elon's made it very clear that Tesla doesn't discount or do celebrity deals or anything else. Everybody's treated the same. You walk up there, you give them your money, and you get a high quality car for a good value back. And that's what I like. I don't know that you can say that about any dealer. You don't know what price you're going to pay. You don't know if you hope you paid a good price, and you can always brag to your buddy what a great deal you got. But do you really know if that was the great deal you got? Yeah, Don doesn't like to shop at Kohl's either, because he says anytime he goes into Kohl's, he never has any idea what he paid for any given item by the original price and the markdown price and the coupon and then this other percentage discount and then... Yeah, so he doesn't want to shop at Kohl's either, which I understand, and I'm not as fond of Kohl's as I once was, but sort of the same thing. How much was it really worth, and how much did you really pay? I mean, the Tesla's not cheap, but at least you go in there knowing the fee, and then you decide to pay it or not without pressure. Anyway, didn't mean to beat a dead horse here, but please consider sending an email. Marianne will have a link to the his email address and his telephone number so that you can contact him. And I think at this point it sounds to me like an email and to the transportation secretary and the governor is probably also in order, because there's the non-legislative piece with the gallery, and then there's also the should they be allowed to have
other sales offices in the state, which is more on the legislative end. So I think we'll be sending some additional emails too.
Yeah. All right. Thanks much.
So we're headed to Taekwondo for a sparring night. We haven't been in a while. It's not a required class, but I think we could use the exercise, and maybe Master Lee will have time to go over my form with me one more time after class. So we're taking the van because I haven't driven it in a while, and you know, I try to drive it at least once a week into town and back. So yeah, fired right up, so that's good. Got plenty of gasoline, so that's good. Yeah.